Alright, YouTube. It's time for episode 41 of Radio Free Innsmouth. So right now, I guess we're listening to Place of Skulls, which is a band of the guitarist from Pentagram. On this album, they have Scott Wino from St. Vitus doing some guest vocals. And I think, this is pretty decent stuff, I guess. It tends to stick to fairly simple pentatonic riffing patterns and general overall blues influence structure. Certainly not up to the high art standards of bands such as Depeche Mode and Death Spell Omega, but what can you do? Am I right?
You get the fuck out of here, faggot. This is the Man Rock Special.
Who the hell was that even supposed to be? He talked like Styx Hexenhammer, but I don't recall Styx Hexenhammer ever using the word pentatonic. Was that just some sort of generic character you invented?
Wait a minute. Who the fuck are you supposed to be?
I'm a ghost.
I'm a ghost. I died 2 hours ago.
Well, that was odd, but yeah, anyway, this week we're going to be talking about sort of a new subgenre that I've kind of carved out. Talking about stuff like Clutch, Spirit Caravan, Place of Skulls, Wino, that sort of thing. I don't know what you would call it. Maybe even some Alice in Chains. It's music that you can play for like normal people, but it's not normie stupid people music. Like if you ever listened to the Black Keys and thought, oh, this is a pretty good riff, but these guys seem like they might be a bunch of homos. Well, this, Man Rock, is the genre for you. It's for tough, manly stuff.
This here's the Mantage. You're welcome.
Yeah, there's Joe chopping wood. There's Luke tossing the pigskin. Here's Joe bucking a bale of hay. There's Luke taming a stallion. Damn! Here's Joe standing under Big App's machinery. Oh, there's Luke writing up a business expand. You know it. Here's Joe eating me. Good eating. There's Luke crying openly at Old Yeller. Here's Joe debating a topic of importance. Well, there's Luke waking up without hitting the snooze button. Delicious.
So one of the foremost exponents of this sort of bourbon drinking, weightlifting, cigar smoking genre I can think of is Spirit Caravan, which was kind of the third major project of Scott Wino Weinrich from, well, originally he was in a band called The Obsessed in the 70s, late 70s, and then they broke up. Later on, he joined the band St. Vitus, who had already done a couple albums with Scott Regers on vocals that were very good, by the way, very underrated stuff. But he kind of took him to the next level, and he's like pretty famous for that. I believe Brett Stevens called him a singer with Bukowskian leanings, which as far as I can tell means that he uses the tone of his voice and variations on it to comment on the music, and he puts in a lot of and like haze and such. It's sort of like a running commentary on the way that the song is going, and then all of it deals with very like street level, everyday type stuff, but with like a dark doom metal twist. Later on, St. Vitus, he kind of left, and then he reformed The Obsessed, who put out a couple more albums, but then that broke up, and he started up a band called Spirit Caravan, who are very much, I guess you could say they're kind of a doom metal band, but they're not very doomy, they're more just kind of rocking. But that doesn't mean that they're simple music either. They take sort of like the 70s hard rock and Black Sabbath template and do some interesting things with it songwriting-wise. For instance, the first song off of their 2 CD compilation, The Last Embrace, titled The Last Embrace, self-titled song and all that. Let's have a listen. I really like that bass sound. And of course the guitar is very sparse and eerie sounding. What really sticks out to me on this track is the powerful groove of the drums, and then the way that the heavy bass and then light acoustic guitar interact. For instance, when we hit one of the major melodies here, we You got the bass providing a counterpoint to that melodic phrase with a little bit of a flourish. Very Geezer Butler in the 70s type stuff that I approve of. But later on in the song, we gradually fade into some heavier territory while still sticking with the general overall feel and like melodic structure of the song. So the vocals are kind of Ozzy-ish here. And you can see the way he's going to change up his vocals. Instead of just following the same vocal line, he does stuff like that to sort of like aside comments on the song. It's hard to explain, but I think you can get what I'm talking about. It's kind of a bluesy influence thing. There's the heavier riffs. It's some very Bill Ward-ish drumming to go along with the Geezer Butler-esque bass playing. That acoustic guitar's still there, so it all feels cohesive. It wasn't like a very abrupt transition or anything. That's what I mean when they have fairly clever songwriting. Then that melody comes back, but this time as electric lead guitar. Very cool stuff. Another song off of this comp that was actually recorded for the comp. See, the compilation is basically the 2 full-length albums they did, plus some extra stuff that they recorded specifically for the compilation. And another one of those extra special songs is something called Brainwashed. Love that guitar tone. You know this motherfucker uses an orange amp. I don't know what that thing is called that you hit on a drum set. I guess it's like a rattle or something, but I always thought it was cool. So that's sort of the general riff of the song. That little thing that they can add sections to and subtract parts from to create different combinations that link together. They can be moved around. Really good vocals.
It's a classic case. They obfuscate a brainwashed populace.
So, if this was, you know, a normal pop song, that would just be the verse and the chorus. But Spirit Caravan played man rock, so they gotta go a little more intense with it. Change shit up and make the song more interesting for you. Like so. It's that good shit, man. So the secret weapon of Spirit Caravan and Saint Vitus before them is they actually had a pretty hefty 80s hardcore punk influence that they let bleed into the music at times. For instance, later on in the song Brainwashed. Oh shit, that noise again. This is like a total Black Flag way of playing that riff, which makes sense because Saint Vitus, his prior band, covered a Black Flag song. Saint Vitus and Spirit Caravan very heavily Black Sabbath influenced, as evidenced by the apparent guest appearance of Tony Iommi here. I don't know if that's actually him, but holy shit, that was a total Iommi solo. But anyways, so they got the Black Sabbath influence and the Black Flag influence. Meanwhile, Black Flag of old had a massive Black Sabbath influence, so it's like an influence Ouroboros, Black Flag, good old Henry Rollins.
Hey, this is Henry Rollins. I was in a band in the 80s that everybody says they like, but they don't actually listen to. I'm a vegan, man. Can you handle this? Brace yourself, because I'm about to beat you down with my basic bitch political opinions stated with a determined intensity. You won't be able to handle my conventional majority views stated monotonously over some bland hardcore guitar riffs. See, I'm a punk rocker, but I'm old now, old and wise. Being older means I'm smarter, even though none of my positions have changed since I was an edgy teenager. Can you deal with that, America?
Believe it or not, Black Flag actually used to be a good band. A good band, but not really as good as Spirit Caravan at all, so just fucking listen to Spirit Caravan instead for your man rock. Ugh! Good stuff, good gym music, good hanging around, having a beer music. I don't know, I like it a lot. I was listening to it a lot last week. There's no other real reason for me to bring it up. I just thought it was cool, and I don't really hear about people talking.
What?
But I don't really hear people talking about him that much.
Okay!
Next week, we'll probably get back to super obscure Russian Natsock black metal or something. But until then,
That's about all, YouTube.
Ciągle synia dało schody. Bude deszcz, bude chleb, bude zim, gotowany rodynu. Milicyty czekają w doma. Słońce, schody nad Ukrainą.